What's up, guys? Rick Denham here, Holy Moly Outdoors. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. It is episode 12 of our Tech Tip Tuesday. We're so happy you joined us because this one's going to be a fun one about rainy day prep for your next outing. So stay tuned.
Gotta like that. Fish on.
So like I said, guys, we're talking rainy day prepping, and I first want to apologize. We had to switch up the camera arrangement here because our beloved camera finally took a crap, and we've had that thing since day one filming our videos. It's finally decided no longer. So sad day, but we're gonna go the route of the GoPro, and it's a little different, but hopefully it works okay. So, but as we said, we were talking this rainy day prep, and what that means is right now outside it's dumping buckets of rain. Our rivers have been pretty much at or near flood stage, and because of that, a lot of it's not fishable. Doesn't mean you can't go out, like I've talked about in some of our other videos, for fall activities that you can go do around and fishing. There's lakes, there's other things to go target, but because it's fall, salmon are always usually on my mind. So as I sit here and listen to the rain, it's an opportunity to get prepped for my next trip. And as that we go into cover today, I'm going to show you a lot of different ways you can do that. But I'm not necessarily going to go to here's how to organize or here's how to do this to be ready for the water. I'm more thinking the mentality approach and gear that'll help you get more fish. Because I've heard it before said, and I totally agree, that you catch your fish at home. It's all the prep time, it's all the research, it's all that. That's how you catch your fish. So we're going to take a little page from that book and kind of elaborate on it. So for me, a rainy day and some free time provides an opportunity to grab the fly tying vise, a couple Newport jig heads, go tie up some twitching jigs, or go tie up some steelhead jigs. So it's an opportunity there in itself to get gear together, restock up if you lost stuff or don't have colors anymore, but it's also a chance to create some things that are going to be really successful. One of those being a twitching jig, like I had mentioned. I tie these myself, and if you want to see some of this stuff, I'll link all the stuff in the description below for you guys, but these are on our website. A twitching jig like this serves a great purpose because it catches a silver, it'll catch a chum salmon, it'll even catch a steelhead. Because this time of the year, with that big burst of rain, it's now going to start on the drop. Our B-run silvers are coming through, the chum salmon should be around, and we might even see a trickle of those first winter runs. And a lure like a twitching jig can catch all three. It definitely is effective for silvers. There's no doubt it'll also catch a chum as well. But that first winter steelhead of the year seems to always get caught by those guys out on the Washington coast twitching jigs for coho. So a very effective lure. You might want to get yourself some of these and tie up some if you want to do that as well. Really helps on a rainy day get stocked back up. Another rod that I'm rigging with for my outing on the next trip is going to be something with hardware on it. Now a lot of you guys, if you're coho fishing, spinners are just by far one of the best rigs just in general for them. They're flashy, aggressive, and spinners do well. For me personally, I've kind of gone away from a lot of those Blue Fox spinners and gone to more of the Wicked Lure style. You guys have seen me use this in a lot of my videos, and there's no coincidence there. I catch a lot of fish using these, very confident in them. They also have a king killer size, which also does a whole lot more flash and makes these super effective, but a great one to have rigged up. That's not to say that I won't also have other stuff with me hardware wise. I will bring some bell-bodied spinners for some different situations, but don't discount the spoon, because guys, coho loves spoons, steelhead loves spoons, and chums just love to be aggressive. So this is again a multi-species lure just like the wicked or a spinner, that you could get an opportunity at any of those other types of fish. So I covered a twitching rod, I covered a hardware rod. Lastly, I will fish a float rod. So I have all three of these, don't have to change up much other than a couple of the jigs or lure tie-ins. That's it. So we're talking float fishing then, and I'm going to circle back to a function that is float fishing but also plays into the hardware. So guys, I'm not sure if you've seen this. Our guys up north in Canada have really been pioneering this for a long time, and it's starting to trickle down to the USA. And this is fishing a spinner under a float for salmon and steelhead. What that means is taking one of these little blades and they're fishing that under a under a float with some split shot and swinging them through the drifts of the current. It acts in a lot of the same ways like you're swinging a spoon, you're swinging a fly, but now you have a visual strike indicator, and it's very effective and a blast to fish. You definitely can catch your coho. I know that you'll get winter steelhead too, and if you got it in front of a chum, I imagine that they would smash the heck out of it as well. So we're going to cover these in a different video specifically on how to rig and set up, because it's definitely a newer technique, but a fun one nonetheless. But that's float fishing a spinner. If I'm going the route of an artificial under a float, then I'll take a look at something that almost all fish, if not all fish, love to eat, and that's a shrimp. So I will take a shrimp tail artificial, like this from X Factor Tackle. This shrimp tail works perfect in the water, has a lot of movement, drives salmon and steelhead nuts. Couple different color options for the water that you may find: a higher off color bubblegum pink and a nice clearing up watercolor sand shrimp. So very, very cool and effective. I love throwing those. But if I want something even more just different, why not throw a pink worm? This happens to be an X Factor Tackle Steelhead Slayer, but something like this works really well. Will catch coho. Steelhead, especially the early ones, are aggressive. Will slam a worm. Both of those guys are on jig heads like this one with a hook keeper from B&R Tackle. Bobber Down Jigs out there has some great ones too, and some other companies. I also pour my own jig heads like this guy, and I will end up putting my plastics on there and throw a bait button if it doesn't have that little nice hook keeper. So once I then got the artificial side of jigs through, there's definitely some good benefits to use this next one, and that's just a marabou or a rabbit for jig like you would for steelhead. A jig like this really can do well when that water is clearing even more. So we're staging this, if you haven't noticed, twitching jigs and hardware and artificials. The bigger stuff is when that water's got, let's say, less than 3 feet of visibility, because it varies enough. If you have a little bit more, 2.5, starting to go to 3 plus, floating a jig just like this guy will be super, super effective, because those fish see it as a very subtle presentation. It backs straight down into their face, tip it with a little bit of shrimp or some scent, and you're rocking and rolling. So, and you can just vary. This one will work great, salmon and steelhead. Something like this guy with just a change of hook size, head size, you're looking at more of a chum fly and jig. So colors variance, I mean, you guys can find this time of the year the bright fluorescent, will be really the bright fluorescent will be really effective when the water transition goes from that dirty to clear. Sometimes too, that bright color will trigger something. However, as you start to get a little bit clearer water, those darker colors start to excel. But really, guys, there's so much you can do at home. You can prep your gear, set it up, make a plan. That's really what it comes down to, is you're planning ahead to scenarios that you may encounter to build up your success. So I hopefully, guys, that you found this helpful to yourself and your prep as you get ready for the next outing. So thank you so much for joining us today. This is Rick Denham with Holy Moly Outdoors. Give us a thumbs up, subscribe below. We got more content coming. We got absolutely a ton of video on the water. We're going to be doing some new things here with some other products. Cannot wait. So stay tuned and we'll catch you out there. Take care, guys. Fish on!